Let's do it.
Let's join together. Hine matovu manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Again. Hine matovu manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim sheverachim gam yachad.
We're on page 10.
Hine matovu manayim sheverachim gam yachad. 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 Hine matovu manayim sheverachim gam yachad.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
That's normally when I would make a joke like I can't hear you, but I heard you. I heard you all. That was really wonderful. It's so nice to be here. It's so nice to be here. Hine matov, we just sang. The psalmist says how great it is, Hine matov, that we can be here together and we can just be present with each other and sit, lashevet, and dwell, and just be. And that's what we're here for. That's Shabbat. So to everyone who's here, Leo Becker's family, friends, people sitting in seats, people sitting in benches, people on the internet, we want to welcome you, and we want to welcome you to our Shabbat service this evening. It's also my distinct pleasure to be up here on the bima for the first time as an ordained rabbi.
Woo!
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. This is also the first time that I'm up here married, which is really, really wonderful. Yeah. Liz is in the back. You can bother her later. So my name is Scott Goldberg, for those of you who don't know me. I'm an assistant rabbi here at Leo Beck Temple, and I couldn't be more honored to be leading alongside, for the first time, Cantor Sarah Hass. Now, this is not the first time that Cantor Hass and I have led services together. I would say far from it. So when I was studying at the Hebrew Union College, right across the street from USC, Cantor Hass was the
They call me the campus cantor.
the campus. They call you the campus
That's
cantor.
what they call me.
Wow.
I still do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the campus cantor.
You're the campus cantor.
Strange name. Yeah.
So Cantor Hass was my cantor for many, many years, and we would lead services together. So this is not our first rodeo.
5 years. 4
That being
years.
said, if we mess up, it's fine. It's okay. We're going to be okay. And I actually want to start off this evening with a blessing for you, because we've led services together, but this is our first time doing this, and this will be, God willing, the first of many that we'll be leading together. And so this is a blessing for you that as we begin our first Shabbat that we lead together. Misha Berach Avotenu v'Imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless you, Cantor Haas, with the incredible capacity to bring music, that which you find so meaningful and so beautiful in this world, to our incredible community at Leo Beck. May your insight and awareness and calmness and sense of humor radiate throughout our entire community for the next many years. And may you also not forget that this is love for you, that this is a piece of Torah that you really enjoy, and that your cup may continue to overflow over these next many years.
Thank you so much. We planned this, just so you know. I'm just kidding. Thank you. And it truly is an honor to be here, to be leading with Rabbi Goldberg, who, yes, was a student of mine, but I am so incredibly honored and thrilled that you're my colleague, my partner in prayer, in so many things that we're going to be doing here in the future. And I too want to give you a blessing. And that is, may you find comfort in this community. One that even a week into being here, I feel so much love, and I know your impact has already been felt over the course of the last couple of years that you've had the opportunity to work here. And I know that you will continue to grow and to become the rabbi I know you already are starting to become, and one that will blossom as you spend your years here. There really isn't another student, as I look back, that I would have rather done this with. Truly, what the services we led, albeit over Zoom a couple of times, were really powerful, and may your impact be felt.
Thank you. Amen.
So we wanted to bless this moment because it is new and beautiful and never has happened before with the Shehechianu. So I invite you to join in the Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. We come to Shabbat all probably feeling frazzled or stressed out or ready for just a moment in time to pause. I want to share with you all a reading that came to my attention this week. It's interesting, so bear with me. I promise you there is a ending to it, and you'll go, oh, I mean, I hope. Hopefully hoping. This is a poem by a man by the name of John Rodell. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. His stuff is really brilliant. And if you feel comfortable, I would like to invite you to close your eyes and just take these words in. My heart and my brain divorced a decade ago. over who was to blame about how big of a mess I had become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and my heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week, and their notes they send to one another always say the same thing. This is all your fault. Instead, on Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesday, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me in the future. They blame each other for the state of my life, and there's been a lot of yelling and crying. So lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. Most nights, I sneak out of the window in my ribcage and slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit and sit and sit and sit until the sun comes up. Last evening, my gut asked me if I was having a hard time being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said I didn't know if I could live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow, I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with my mistakes of the past or my anxiety about the future, I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you are exhausted about your heart's obsession with fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale and only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your heart and your head work their relationship out. This morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag, walked to the door of my lungs. And before I could even knock, she opened the door with a smile. And as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" I hope that this Shabbat can serve for you as that breath. Let your head and your heart rest on Shabbat. Let it be what it is. Let's just all take one big breath together.
Amen. That was awesome.
It's so great, right? We'll start with singing the words of Shir Chadash. You can find the words on page 344.
We're moving into Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, come, my beloved. Let's go out and greet Shabbat. Shabbat's here, so we should greet Shabbat. And this might be a bit of a stretch, but Shabbat can't happen without all of us. If we're not here, no one's going to celebrate Shabbat. No one's going to be able to greet Shabbat. So I want us to give us a moment, maybe let's say 20 or 30 seconds, and that might turn into a minute because I know you. But feel free to introduce yourself to someone next to you, maybe someone you don't know, preferably, and be bold. We'll come back in about 20, 30 seconds. Introduce yourself. Try to finish the last sentence. Try to finish your last thought.
Doing it just well. Yep.
Lecha Dodi will greet now the Shabbat bride as one Leo Beck community. Page 20. Page 20.
Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekavela. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmianu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet belitchila. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekavela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor haberacha verosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machashava techila. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekavela.
Verse 5.
Yitoreri la לקראת כלה, יא לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת בקפלה.
We'll rise in body and spirit, and we'll face our entrance as we welcome the Shabbat bride.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאי לי לי, יא לה 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 לחדותי, יא לה 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 לקראת כלה, יא לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת בקפלה.
We'll remain standing for the Baruch Hu, our call to prayer, our call to worship, found on page 28. A new Shema, a poem. Hear, let the whisper of the infinite enter the secret chamber of your heart. Yearning is a gift. It pierces the shell you build around who you truly are. The source of kindness and the source of justice are, in truth, one source, the only one, the source of love. Wrestle with the infinite, limbs entwined, skin on skin, breath on breath. You and the great other can meet yourselves. Touch, dissolve, become one. Because there is no other, no otherness. All that has been, all that is, and all that shall be, all comes from one, and all is one. The Shema can be found on page 34, our blessing for oneness.
I am here, I am now, asking when, asking how, only I, only thou, only one. Feel Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
What is redemption and what does it mean? What does redemption mean in a world that is ravaged? What does redemption mean in a world that is ravaged with economic and political corruption? What does redemption mean in a world that is constantly heating and overheating? What does redemption mean in a world that is ridden with racial inequality? When Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than God's own, I have wondered what redemption looks like. What did it look like for Jacob to be free? In a world where God may feel farther and farther away, how might we be partners with God in a world desperately in need of redemption? Mi Chamocha, our prayer for redemption, we can find it on page 40. And as we join together, we'll focus on what we want to redeem in this world.
It's a melody we did last week, but it was one that I mean, Leo Beck Temple introduced a couple times prior to last week. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Adonai. Lai, 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 lai. One more time, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Did you know he could do that? I only knew yesterday when we talked about it. So now, as we sit outside, it truly is so amazing to be able to sit outside and look up and see the sky. Sort of. If you look that way, those of you who are not sitting back there can see the sky. But to really feel God's presence. I know that there are times when we just feel crummy and unsafe and not okay with the world. But we can look up, even for just a moment, and ask God for that protection, that sukkot shalom, that peace over our head. So, we had a bird visitor. We'll join together in Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. V'ha'amidenu Malkeinu L'chaim.
We're on the supplement.
Fros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us God wrong from right.
The Amidah, our standing prayer, comes next. Every word of one's prayer should be like a rose that is picked from a bush. One gathers rows upon rows until a bouquet is formed and can be offered to God as a beautiful blessing. We'll rise in body, we'll rise in spirit for the Amidah. The first three prayers we'll recite together, and then we'll be able to recite silently either the prayers of the page, the prayers of our hearts, until page 62. The Amidah starts on page 46.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia Morid hatal Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofe cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim bechol yom yehallelu Selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We'll continue silently through page 62 and be seated when we're finished.
most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side of fear. Kol ha'olam kulo, kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tzar me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo, kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tzar me'od. Ve'haikar, ve'haikar, kol לפחד קל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו, כל העולם כולו, גשר צר מאוד. Try that with me. כל העולם כולו, כל העולם כולו, כל העולם כולו, גשר צר מאוד. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side. The most important thing is on the other side of fear.
Up north. Up north. Does anyone know what up north is? Raise your hand if you know what up north is. All right, so we just divided the coasts from the Midwest. That's what we just did. Up north is one of my favorite places in the world. It refers to the greater northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota, northern Michigan region, filmed with calm lakes and eye candy sunsets and a slow pace. That's up north. Up north is where I spent my adolescent summers at camp, and it's where I learned to throw a frisbee. It's where I learned to make a fire, and it's where I learned to roast the absolute best marshmallows in the world. And I recently came back from a vacation up north with my family. We spent most of our days biking and kayaking, but when night fell, that's when the real magic happened, because the stars up there are out of this world. Tiny yet wildly radiant pinpricks of light amidst the great unknown. These stars reminded me of all the blessings I have in my life. Within darkness, there is light. Staring at the stars also reminded me of the life and legacy of 20th century astronomer Rebecca Elson. Elson was just 16 years old when she saw Andromeda through a telescope, a galaxy 2.5 million light years away from Earth. She also couldn't help but note that this galaxy, this delicate wisp of milky spiral light, was floating in what seemed like a bottomless well of darkness. In the ancient world, darkness was a symbol of powerlessness. During the Passover story, when God casts out a plague of darkness onto the Egyptians, they experience a total loss of power. They're unable to work. They're unable to care and be present for their friends and families in the ways that many of us find to be second nature. Without light, the Egyptians didn't really have a path forward. Up north, when I encountered the Big Dipper, as radiant as it was, I actually realized how much the night sky swallows up these beautiful lights with darkness. Now, I would be remiss if I stood up here on my first Shabbat with LBT as a rabbi and shared that right now, everything in our world is fine. We're good. We're totally fine right now. Quite the contrary. I don't know where you all are, but I'm still reeling from this violent and deadly shooting that happened in Highland Park on Monday. I grew up in the Midwest. Many of my friends are from the north suburbs of Chicago. I have one friend who attended the parade and needed to run for safety. And that's just one example. I'm sure we can think of other examples of where there's darkness that's radiating some of our lights. It's a wild time to begin a career as a rabbi, but I think we can all agree that it's just a wild time to be alive. When there is so much darkness to tread through, how might we see light? Our Torah teaches us an important lesson in finding light within darkness. In Parshat Chukat, what we read tomorrow, we learn that an entire generation passes between two really important events in Israelite history. The first event is the 12 spies returning from the land of Israel after they've scouted it out and seen how it was. And then the second is the deaths of Miriam and Aaron. This first event, God and Moses agree that the Israelite people should send spies to the promised land just to check out the strength of the inhabitants, the number, if the land is fertile, if they could even survive. And of these 12 spies, 10 return with reports of gigantic people, numerous armies, fortified cities armed with dangerous weapons. And these 10 Israelites believed that God couldn't help them succeed. Only 2 returned trusting that God would help Israel prevail. A classic tale of retribution theology happens next. Those 2 spies who trust in God, they flourish on their trek to the promised land. However, those 10 spies who mistrust God, they, their families, and all their descendants perish along the way. We read that those 10 spies who don't believe in God, they begin their journey to the promised land. Ve'ya'apilu la'alot el rosh hahar. They defiantly climb to the top of the mountain. 19th century rabbi, the Netziv, picks up on this word defiantly, and he believes that ya'apilu, coming from the Hebrew root ayin pe lamed, actually means, it doesn't mean defiantly, it means darkness. He might be playing off this similar Hebrew root aleph pe lamed, afelah. It's not that these spies defiantly climbed to the top of the mountain when they wanted to go to the promised land. Rather, this commentator thinks that they waited until the middle of the night, the darkness, the afelah, to find their trek to the promised land. Now, these 10 Israelites, even though they didn't trust God, I think they had some wisdom to teach us. They know that they will not survive. They don't trust God, and they know that they're not going to make it. But they still push onward through complete, utter darkness. They're remaining on their journey to the promised land. They see a promised land, a world renewed, and they risk their lives to get there. It's as if they're saying, within darkness, there's light. The Israelites are able to find hope, not in spite of the fact that they're surrounded by darkness, but because they journeyed through darkness head on. It is precisely the darkness that we must face in order to seek the light. the metaphorical stars in our lives, that which brings us light and happiness and warmth, we all have them. I invite us to reflect on them and meditate on them. What are the blessings of your life? What brings you joy? Who are your people? Who make it count? Sometimes the lights in our lives can be swallowed up by the darkness of the world. And I'm not proposing that we push away the darkness. That's not how we build a world to come. I'm proposing the opposite. I'm proposing that we do what the Israelites did. We should boldly and courageously march through the darkness to the promised land, wherever that may be for us. We can be present with each other. We can help in ways that we know we can. We can reach out and stay informed. We can also volunteer, and we can give. We can step up. We can have coffee with someone who maybe we didn't know before tonight. And we can use our lights and our new lights to make our world a bit brighter. Rebecca Elson was not only a prolific astronomer, observing that which exists in the outer dimensions, but she was also captivated by the inner dimensions of poetry. She writes, "Let there always be light. For this we go out dark nights, searching for the dimmest stars, for signs of unseen things, to weigh us down, to stop the universe from rushing on and on into its own beyond, till it exhausts itself and lies down cold, its last star going out. Whatever they turn out to be, let there be swarms of them, enough for immortality, always a star where we can warm ourselves." As I begin tonight as your rabbi, tonight and for years to come, I seek to emulate the Israelites. I will strive to be there for you. I will strive to listen with empathy and with an open heart. When you're in moments of darkness, I will strive to sit with you and be there with you no matter what's happening. And when you celebrate the lights in your world, I will celebrate with you, and I'll dance with you, and I'll sing with you until you tell me to stop. My blessing for us all. May we also emulate the Israelites, not by ignoring the darkness or by pushing it away in a world where it's still going to be there no matter what happens, but rather may we walk hand in hand, walking straight through it, while we grasp onto our stars that bring forth strength and resilience, enough for immortality. This world that we're in, there are people in our lives, it might even be ourselves, and we're in need of some healing. And there's a prayer for that. It's the Mishaberach Lecholim. It's the prayer where we ask God, the God who blessed everyone before us, to bless us, to bless our loved ones who are in need of healing. And I want to invite you to, if you're thinking of someone who's in need of healing, it might be healing of the body, healing of the mind, or the spirit. If you're thinking of someone, feel free to share their name aloud with the community as my eyes meet yours. We'll take all those names said out loud and said in our hearts. And we'll hold them and we'll offer a Misha Berach Lecholim, found on page 253. For a refuah shlema for them. Aleinu can be found on page 282. We'll rise as we are able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. As we recite Kaddish this evening, we especially remember Sarah Allen, Max Bauman, Rabbi Jacob Bauman, Aaron Britvan, Doris Chartrand, Yosef Cohen, Eugene Davis, Sylvia Weinstein Fisher, Daniel Fogel, Jill Franklin, Paul Geller, Bertha Germain, Bertram Given, Paul H. Guth, Judith Maccabee Hakim, Irene Hart, Theodore Kahn, William Solomon Kaplan, Ada Levy, Jack Bruce Littman, Gerda Meyer, Morris J. Merkin, Bess Ratner, Corinne Rarick, Leo Rose, Frank Leon Rose, Sheldon Rothstein, Lawrence Eugene Scalier, Leon Labe Sagan, Sarah Silverman, Manuel S. Sims, Rosette Wilson, Sylvia Zanville. If there are others in your community or in your families or in your friends who have died in recent times and who you're thinking of, please feel free to share their names either out loud or in your hearts with our community. We'll hold all of them with us. The Mourner's Kaddish, the Kaddish Yatom, we can find it on page 294, and we'll rise as we're able. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו amen. May the one who brings peace and joy and love into the high heavens bring peace and joy and love unto us. Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shalom.